Typically, what I see with regards to recoil management, shooters that have typically a jump, number one, it's probably they're putting too much downward pressure, or they're not putting any pressure at all, because in theory, when the rifle recoils, and you kind of see this on tracks, the rifle should in theory come straight back. So any type of vertical movement that you have in the reticle is stemming from maybe something that you're applying back here or not applying with regard to having good rifle to shoulder connection. Hey, what's up guys? Phil here, and I just want to do a real quick video talking about percentage of pressures that you are applying to your rifle system. Now, again, this kind of just stems from the topic of, you know, loading bipods or what type of pressure that you're putting on your bipods. And honestly, I don't care what camp that you're in specifically. I know that for me, for the last close to 2 decades that I've been doing this, I've transitioned to more of a rear pressure, which if you want me to go down that rabbit hole in a separate video, I will. But specifically what I wanted to talk about in this video was the percentage of pressure. And what I mean by that is a lot of times you see shooters, right? Or if I'm even myself when I'm creating content and people are asking me, hey, what kind of pressure are you applying into the rifle system, whether it's with your grip hand, whether it's your the load that you're applying. And one of the things that, again, I'm guilty of is trying to tell that shooter a certain percentage. And at the end of the day, what we found is that, you know, my 50% or 20%, whatever that number is different than that shooter's 50% or 40%, whatever that number is, okay? But what I found that's common to all is the term slack. And what I mean by slack is that every one of us have kind of slack or slop in our system. And so what I'm gonna do is just demonstrate kind of just my process of how I approach not only a prone position of taking out the slack with the pressure that I'm applying, right? But that something that is hopefully repeatable for you to be able to see with your rifle system of what slack you can take out, again, depending on what pressure that you are applying with your rifle system. So I've got a target out here at 540, and what I'm gonna just do is go through my process, right? My rifle is grounded, establish my rifle to shoulder connection. This is building a bridge, right? And initially, as I build my bridge, I even out. As I even out, I do what I call a handoff, right? Because there's the initial bipod load. And then from here, I do a handoff to where I apply rear pressure. But even right at this point, I've got good control of that rifle with just my rifle to shoulder connection, nice and high and medial, right? I've got this target here at 545 yards. And if I take a deep breath in, right, you can see that reticle go straight up and straight down. And my natural respiratory pause brings me to that target. So my natural point of aim is good, right? So then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and bring my support bag in, right? Get that all dialed in. This is just my process. A lot of you guys have seen my videos on building a bridge, rifle to shoulder connection, all that stuff is still there, okay? Now what I'm gonna do, and this is typically for competition because, you know, for competition, there's no sense in applying pressure yet because I haven't closed my bolt. So what I'll do is I'll close my bolt, right? I'll put my hand back on the grip area, finger straighten off the trigger, and then what I'll do is I will then take out the slack of my bipod by just pulling out that slack. And not only do I feel the slack taken out, and you kind of see that little movement there, not only am I taking the slack out of my bipod, but I also feel the slack taken out of the butt pad in my clavicle there. And so when I do that, remove that slack, right? You can see that reticle pretty much comes right back on target. Right. Okay. So that is the prone position. One more time, close my bolt, pull my hand back in the grip area, breathe, reticle, all right? And this whole time I'm pulling out the slack one more time, pull the slack back. I can't tell you what that percentage is, but I can just feel that wall there. And the reticle is coming back on target here in the prone. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully you guys can see that on the camera with regard to taking out the slack. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna demonstrate that now off of a prop so that you can see this from a positional standpoint. Okay, so now we're at a, this is a very unstable barricade that we have here at the Cody Shooting Complex. Typically this is a prop that I use tripod rear a lot on, just because it's kind of like just a very wobbly cattle gate. Not only that, I'm on a bunch of gravel right now. And so if you're at a competition, typically out east or something that's built up, props are most likely gonna be pretty solid, so you can give a good load to, like rocks. But if you are out west like I am, Montana, Wyoming, typically, the match directors are on leased land, so they'll just throw their props out and not have anything secured, unless again you're shooting off natural terrain. But nevertheless, right? Each prop has slack, right, or slop, right, or this forward and back travel, as you can see here, right. Now, I forgot to talk about this while I was in the prone position, but essentially, one thing that I realized is that holding a certain amount of pressure is unrealistic for X amount of time. Meaning that, it's unrealistic for me to say that I can, pull back 100% for more than, 60 seconds or 30 seconds, whatever that number is, without it being uncomfortable or unsustainable. And now you're essentially starting to shake in your rifle position. And that the goal is not to, teach that, it's just to be able to, for that shot, if I need to take the slack out of the system, whether it is the prop, my rifle, my body, that way I can maximize both stability and recoil management. I'm going to figure out what that slack is and looks like. So in this case, I'm gonna go through my same process, same target. What I'm going to do is, once I find a target, build my bridge still nice and high. You can check my natural point of aim at this point. Take a deep breath in. You can see that reticle goes straight up and straight down. Okay, I'm gonna bring my support hand up. Okay, and now once I close my bolt, I'm gonna go ahead and pull the slack out of the prop and the rifle system, right? And it's the very slightest, right? You can barely even see it on the camera, right? But I can just feel it. I'm pulling with both my support hand and I'm dragging the support back to me while also bringing my right hand with my 3 fingers back into my body. And just pulling the slack out there, right? And you can see there, my reticle comes straight back on target, okay? And I'm not jumping off or coming high off of the target, okay? Typically, what I see with regards to recoil management, shooters that have typically a jump, number one, it's probably they're putting too much downward pressure, or they're not putting any pressure at all, because in theory, when the rifle recoils, and you kind of see this on tracks, the rifle should in theory come straight back. So any type of vertical movement that you have in your reticle is stemming from maybe something that you're applying back here or not applying with regard to having good rifle to shoulder connection. If you think about how the rifle should track and move, it should come straight back. And so I realized I'm running a, Thunder Beast Magnus with a aftermarket brake on it. I could do this all day, even with just a straight suppressor. Impact. Impact. Yeah, hopefully that makes sense with regard to taking out the slack. That's really the whole purpose of this video, of just being able to identify what that slack looks like, whether it's, again, a forward pressure or a rear pressure. Again, my go-to typically is a rear pressure because I'm going with recoil. Recoil is coming back, and no matter what, my body weight pushing forward will never overcome the force of acceleration of the recoil, especially with a centerfire rifle coming back toward me. So essentially, I'm just gonna go with the direction of recoil in terms of what my pressure is. That's just me, and that's just what we teach at the cadre. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. Let me know if it's down and dirty, quick, makes sense, right? And that hopefully can kind of solve some of your answers of like, hey, especially if you guys are cruising around the internet asking, your favorite gun influencer or competitor, what type of pressure they apply. Hopefully this can point you to the direction is like, hey, don't look for a percentage, look for the slack out of the system that you can take out with either that forward pressure or rear pressure, whichever one you prefer. Appreciate you guys watching. If you guys are interested in training with myself or the cadre, head over to the website. I'll provide links down below. If you're new to my channel, cruise out and check out all of the YouTube channel and podcasts that I have with regard to getting, whether you're a new shooter or an experienced shooter, just unlocking your potential behind a precision rifle, because it's pretty cool what you can do with a precision rifle in 2026. Thanks for watching, guys, and as always, keep your face on the gun.